All right, guys, James Ignatowich here. We are going to talk about how to deal with playing against bangers. So people that are hitting big serves, big drives, you're having a tough time maybe getting up to the kitchen or just being overpowered. We're gonna talk about how to effectively deal with that. And most importantly, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can be sure to check out podcasts like mine and all the other great content that Selkirk has to offer, highlights, videos, pretty much everything. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, so the first thing, and I think the biggest problem with playing against bangers, is when they are crushing a serve at you and then they are hitting a hard drive while you are getting caught in the transition zone on your way from the return up to the kitchen. Playing against somebody that has a big serve, you can be sure, first of all, that you will be hitting a lot of your returns while the ball is on the way up. You're not actually going to be hitting the ball at its apex. So if somebody hits a really hard serve to me or to you and it bounces here, are you going to be hitting the ball at the apex on your return? No, you're going to be contacting the ball down here. So one of the most common, if not the most common mistakes that I've seen is when players are trying to return a serve against somebody that is crushing the serve, they are standing with their feet like this, standing basically up straight. And that is not an easy way to handle a ball that is down here. The serve is a very linear shot. The harder it is, the more linear it is. It's going from baseline to baseline, and it's definitely going to be bouncing pretty low. So when I'm returning somebody, like a Pickleball, for example, that's hitting a huge serve at me, I'm wide with my base like this, because that stance is going to better equip me to deal with a shot that is bouncing or meeting my body around here. So that's the first thing. You're gonna know that if somebody's hitting a hard serve at you, you're gonna contact the ball down here. You don't compensate with your arms, you compensate with your legs, making a wider base. And the wider your base is, the lower that you get, right? Without even necessarily bending your knees. And of course you do wanna bend your knees, but I mean, I could have a completely straight leg, get wider, and now I'm lower. And then, you could bend your knees a little. So that's the first thing. All right, so once you've made your wide base, when you have that wide base getting ready to hit the return, you should be sure to keep a wide base while you're making contact and staying low while you're making contact with that shot. So if you're here on the return, you have the wide base, and then when you're hitting it, you kind of pop up like this, which we'll demonstrate later, here, and then you kind of pull up your body. Really good chance you're gonna miss that shot out, deep. Reason for that is when you're hitting the return, it's the only shot in pickleball where you have to be running through it. You hit a return, you run through it while you hit it. So you have a ton of momentum going forward to that target. Since you have so much momentum going forward to the target, if you pop up like this as you hit the ball, way, way higher chance you miss that ball deep. And when I teach these clinics, especially at the 4 or 5 level and below, tons of returns are getting missed deep off of big serves, guys that are hitting hard serves, because they're pulling up their body. So when I hit a return, it'll look something like this. Wide base, and then I'm staying down the entire time. Super important to stay down. If you pull up your body, it's gonna be very, very tough to be consistent with that return. All right, so the final thing as it relates to using your legs on the return is you do not wanna be crossing your feet over while you hit the return. So if you're here, and then you go like this to hit the return, you're not gonna be in a good spot to get up to that kitchen line quickly. Especially these days, the paddles are very powerful. Guys are hitting big serves and big drives. And if you are hitting your return with your feet crossed over like this, or like this, not gonna be in a great spot to get to that kitchen line quickly, right? Because the whole point of the return is to hit it deep, maybe put some pace on it, and then give yourself an opportunity to get to that kitchen line and establish yourself at the kitchen line while they're fighting to come forward. That's why you have an advantage on the return. If you cross over your feet like this, you cannot be running forward or running through it while you do it. It's very tough. You want to be running through it, so you want to have an open stance, right? Open stance, and then you stay forward. You will never, almost never, I would hope never, see me cross my feet over on the return, because the main thing with the return is just trying to get up to the kitchen line and establish yourself, because that is the advantage that the returner has.